The combined wealth of the world's 10 richest men has increased by a staggering $540 billion during the COVID pandemic, according to Oxfam's latest report, The Inequality Virus. To give you some perspective, just this increase of wealth is more than enough to provide COVID vaccination for the entire world's population, to eradicate poverty many times over, to provide clean water and sanitation for the world's poor, education, and the list simply goes on. Whilst the billionaires were getting fatter, on the other hand, Oxfam estimates that as many as 500 million more people were living in poverty as a result of the pandemic, suffering unemployment, financial insecurity, job uncertainty, demands on food banks at a record all-time high. Food banks becoming a fabric, a sign of failure of Western society. What is causing this obscene financial disparity? This isn't the first time, and it's not going to be the last time, that billionaires have profited at the misery of millions. And it ties back to the Western capitalist economic system, which is the root cause. Some primary factors include: number one, interest. Interest on interest that makes big money even bigger and encourages the hoarding of wealth. Number two, the Western governments, large bailouts to banks, large aid packages to large companies and corporations. Number three, wealth-friendly tax laws and loopholes that keep those billionaires at the top and ensure that billionaires get away with next to nothing in taxation. This is capitalism at work, also known as democracy. Essentially, it's a system for the super rich, by the rich, and for the rich. The billionaires, they fund the politicians, their political parties, bring them into power. These politicians then influence legislation and policy, and then the billionaires sit back, enjoy the return on their investments. Islamic economics, on the other hand, through 3 or 4 basic, simple principles, can save millions of lives, eradicate poverty, and give humanity the financial justice it so badly needs. Number one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, كَيْ لَا يَكُونَ دُولَةً بَيْنَ الْأَغْنِيَاءَ مِنْكُمْ. Distribution of wealth. Wealth circulation is essential. Prevent the hoarding of wealth. Don't be blinkered by a craze to create more billionaires and solve poverty. Number two, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. Zakat 2.5% is applied precisely on wealth and savings. Imagine if 2.5% zakat was paid on the hundreds of billions that is hoarded in wealth. Number three, وَأَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has permitted trade and forbidden interest. So no big money becoming bigger and no hoarding of wealth. And last but not least, no tax avoidance and no engineered loopholes in legislation favoring the billionaires. Brothers and sisters, we owe it to the millions suffering due to the callous nature of capitalism, losing lives. We owe it to humanity. We owe it to ourselves to call for the justice of Islam, for the justice of the Islamic economic system, its political system, its social system, which gives back humanity its humanity.